Hello, everyone. I wanted to share with you an exciting feature that is now available in Brainicamp, and that is going to be the share feature. And on this one, this gives you the ability to send students links. It allows you to copy an image that you have set up and also to download the image so that you can build that into your planning. So I want to talk a little more about the link here, and I'll show you some examples of how you can do that, and then also some examples of the images. One quick thing before I forget to say it, to use the link, just make sure that students have logged in to Brainicamp on their device relatively close to when they're going to open that link. I don't know the timings and all that. I don't know if they have to log in 10 minutes before, if that's okay, or 5. I think we'll just have to kind of work through that and find that out as we go. But once you have your board made, in this case, I did some algebra tile work and I made this assignment essentially of find the sum. You can then push this out to them. And it's a lot like sending them a Google Doc where you force a copy and then they have their own unique copy to work on. That's exactly the same type of idea here. So let me show you the share. So I do a linker code, and that will pop up a link here that will link to this board that I made for my students. Copy to clipboard, perfect. And then let me go to a new browser. So this would be as if it was going to my students. So then my students get my link, and now they see the exact board that I have set up for them ahead of time. And now this is their own unique copy to work on. And so as a student, I'll just kind of play around here and do what they might do. Some of them might be able to do it mentally, which is totally fine as well. And then actually some of them might even do this. Put all the constants together. This would be great for 6th grade math. So some might do this. This they'll probably all do the same thing, but over here they can get creative. They could do that, or maybe make some zero pairs. But the beautiful thing is that every student interaction is going to be a little bit different with this. And then they can record their sum wherever they want. They might say this is 5x, and then there's 2, and then they might write that there. There's so many different ways they could do this, and that's what really allows for that openness and creativity with the students. So this is a really, really simple one where it's a closed-ended type of task. And then what you can do now is have your students push it back to you through the share, and they can give you the link back here. And you'll notice this link is now different than up here because now this is their own unique copy that they did. So then they can do that, or they can also do come on, there we go. They can also do a picture, download the picture of this, and then give it back to you. And there's all kinds of different ways you could smash this even more. I'm sure you will find all kinds of ways to do so over time, but those are the basic ones there. So that's how to do the link. And let me just confirm with you over here, my original one that I have over here untouched, just as it was when I first set it up. So every student that this goes to will get their own unique copy that they can then interact with. So I imagine you're probably thinking this might be a good way to do some quizzing or get some formative data within a lesson, maybe push out the link on Zoom and then have them do it, and then they can push it back to you or do a screen share and you can see kind of how they're doing. So that's one example of an interactive one. Here's another example, more in maybe kinder, first grade, maybe even early second grade, where you set up this assignment for them using the text feature here. And then, oops, I just made another one, mess that up there. Let's do that for now. And then you can give them some bars to work with. The beautiful thing about this is that by setting it up for them, this option over here in default is basic. So I don't necessarily want my students spending time getting that ready. I mean, it's fine if they do, but I'd rather them dive into the decomposing and composing of numbers in this case, so that those show. So you can set that up for them ahead of time just to make that easier for them to interact with. And then again, you can give them the link. They each get their own, and then they can really get creative on ways to compose tens and then write the equations. Um, Another example, this would be some third grade counting collections type of work with fractions. And another good example of where I wanted this set up ahead of time because I didn't want the fraction names to show. I wanted to turn those off. And so I wanted them to maybe manipulate to see this and see, okay, these are 1/3 to make sense out of that. I didn't necessarily want to have those labeled for them ahead of time. And again, I put some text in here to give the assignment. And same idea, so they get their link, they complete the task, and then they can share it back as a link or give it to you as a picture. So those are a few different ways you might do the share with the link so that everybody gets their own to interact with. Let me share with you a couple examples of what you might do with the image, either the copy or the download, either way. This might be where maybe you're going to do some quick image work with them, and you're just going to do your prep work in Brainy Camp, but you're not necessarily going to have them interact with it. So you might prep some 10 frame flashes for them, where we flash it for them really quick as an image, and then put it down really quick, and then ask them, what did you see and how did you see it? And so you might share this with yourself essentially, where you download the image and now you have the image prepped, and then you can get a bunch of those ready ahead of time and then have those in your files to flash for them. Another example might be something like this, where you use the hundreds chart or the number board, and then give them a task like this, where they use a known number to explain how you know the value of the orange square. On this example, they want to try to find the orange square, what is the value of that, using a known number. So they might do something like 167, and then they explain to you somehow, maybe on Seesaw, this would be second grade standards here. Maybe on Seesaw, you push this out as an image, or you download and push it out as an assignment, and then they explain to you using a voice recording, well, I know this is 147 because every time I go up, it's like subtracting 10. And so that would be 147. And then maybe have them do it a couple different ways using another number where they do that same kind of thinking. So the reason you might do this as a picture instead of a link is that if you gave them a link, they could then interact with it, just click, and now they have the answer, not too rigorous there. So we want them to do it mentally or work it out on the side, but somehow we just don't want them to click it to get to the answer. So you might do it as a static picture where they can't do that. So those are the share features. I'm sure there's all kinds of different ways that you're already thinking about that you can use this with your classroom. But those are the two main ways, either as a link or a download image. And there's one thing I didn't really talk too much about this one. I just don't think it's going to be used as much, but that's the share code. And I'll just show you as an example, just if you do want to play with it. You copy that, and then when students go to the apps page, they would copy the code in here and then press go. But I probably think the link is the better way to go because it'll take them right there. So those are some different ways you can use the new share feature using a link or the image. And I definitely look forward to seeing how different people use this and all kinds of different ways to app smash and really up the rigor of our learning with our kiddos. So if you have any questions, reach me at rrexter, and I hope that helps.